What's going on, guys? We are back. It's been a while. I know I've been pretty busy, but we're back with another Saber commission. This is an MPP by Korbanth, Darth Vader Lightsaber. It's my first time installing one of these. It's been a little while since I've done any installs, but I've never done one of these. There were a couple things I didn't like about it. Mostly the fact that when you're actually putting the emitter in, or not the emitter, excuse me, the sink, the heat sink, the way it sits up in here is kind of weird, so I'm not a huge fan of that, because this entire internal piece can pop out and stuff, but it doesn't really affect the customer. And then the only other thing I'm not a huge fan of is the fact that the entire clamp section, unlike the Graflex, where it kind of like locks in place or has a screw on the side for different versions, this one has no way of locking in place, just by it's only done by friction. And then thirdly, going off the clamp section, is that the switch solution for this is not very good. There's no hole to run the switch wires through the hilt, so you have to drill your own holes, which can affect the plating if you don't do it properly. The actual clamp, the switch holder itself, is crap. No offense, I love everything by Darth Rio, but it might have been the Saber, I'm not sure, but it wasn't designed well by any means. It didn't fit, required a lot of sanding to get it to work. And even then it was tricky for a while, but I finally got it to work. But aside from that, let's get into the actual, the hilt itself. So internally we have a Crystal Shard version 4.5, a Tricrete Deep Red White. It's either deep red white or deep red white. I forget, I'd have to check the order notes. It's red. That's all that matters. Like I said, so it's just a Tricrete with a white flash on clash, 18650 lithium ion battery, 28 millimeter bass speaker. I forget who the maker is. It's either Saber Essentials or the WoW speakers. I forget which one. Either way, it's not those crappy Vecco speakers that TCSS has. Darth Rio chassis, which is, as always, pretty awesome. I did have to mod it a little bit because this hilt, or this chassis, isn't made to take this board. It's almost the same size as the Nano Biscotti, but it doesn't sit right because of the way that the SD card holder sits and stuff like that. So got a little bit creative, but all worked out in the end, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to get this fired up. Normally you would unscrew the pommel right here, and you can take it, and then your kill key is right here. I'll show you. This is also a stand that I created, which fits the grips of the DV6, the MPP, and the Graflex. So, plug my own shop. So bottom comes off, your kill key is right there. It's a twist where you can twist it, Saber's off, or you can twist it till it pops, and the Saber will boot. And you can actually just leave it in there. It doesn't cut power randomly, so that's nice. This hilt is kind of a fingerprint magnet, so I try to keep my hands off of it, but you can always see a little bit right there and there. It just kind of is what it is. It's the same with any of these. But do I want to show the internals? Yeah, we'll go with the internals first. So there's one important note for the customer, which is that, again, like I was saying, because there's no way to actually secure this clamp, that's not part of this Saber or the 89 Sabers version. This is just free floating, and you have wires that run underneath this into the hilt. So the way I always keep it is that this should always be lined up with this black piece, no matter what. You're not going to hurt it by twisting it a teeny bit to get it lined up, but you do not want it off-center at all, because you can break the wires, and if you do, that is it's covered under warranty because I'll do the repair, but it's not covered under warranty in terms of not being the customer's responsibility to take care of that. So this is just your one disclaimer for this, is to always keep an eye on that, and just watch it. This doesn't move easily. I mean, I'm like twisting it, so swinging it around doesn't hurt it, but it's just keep an eye on it. So if you want to get the bottom pommel off to get the SD card, you open that up. You can take the bubble strip out, but you don't have to. And so what I like to do is I like to hold like this and kind of two fingers on here so I can watch it and make sure it's lined up. And then I'm going to put it up against my chest and slowly, let's see if I can do this without, and slowly just start to untwist this. You can't untwist it like you do the Graflex where it's a bit faster. But like I said, it's because you want to be careful with those switch wires. And then let me just get that. So I'm going to take this back here and just get this done a little bit faster. So, come on, there we go. So eventually you'll start to see these other holes, and so I can just take that out of there. Full SD card and your speaker. So it is Saber Essentials, I'm looking at it right now. Cool. But yeah, so anyway, so full SD card access, you would take this SD card, pop it out that way, pull it out. The soundboard is held in with double-sided tape because it just helps it in case there has to be a repair where you don't actually glue the board in. So if you ever see it popped up or something like that, you can let me know. I can show you what I use. You just slide a piece of tape under and push it down, but it's pretty strong stuff, so it shouldn't come up. But yeah, pop the SD card if you need to make changes. Then you just look in here, and then this should slide underneath there and underneath your switch holder right there. And again, same thing as earlier. I'm just going to twist it and go until it's in nice and tight. I'm just doing it off screen so I can do it a little bit faster. Also, the threading on this one is extremely long for whatever reason, but you know. And then line it up, and close. So we're golden. Anyways, so enough of that. Actually, I don't even do this anymore. So your activation is the bottom one, your auxiliary is the top one. So you can get it fired up. Sorry about that. Missed it. So you do have a accurate blade plug in there, and then it's you do have some of the shine through in there. So that first font was, I have the list right here, was Vader 1 by Lord Blako. And then I'm going to toss a blade in here so we can see that. So your blade retention is actually not this upper one like you're used to with the DV6. It's this bottom one right here, which I bought the upgraded version, which allows blade retention. I just got it from KR Sabers. So screw that. Your blade plug can pop out. And this is, it's 7/8. Had to make sure. So there you go, toss a 7/8 blade in there. This is just a show blade. Thumb tight on that. This one's a little bit hard to grip, so make sure you get it thumb tight, but you're good. And we go to the next font. Which is Vader Original Trilogy by Genesis. So, or Mad Cow, whatever you want to call them. I got the swings pretty dialed in. I'm pretty happy with it. The next one. This is MPP by Shamim. So I'm really happy with it. Like I said, it came out really good. The sensitivity is awesome on this one. So. Next one, which is Bespin 2. Again by Mad Cow. What's going on, guys? Sorry about that. I got a phone call and that cuts out the video, but at least it saved it. So we were going between fonts, and I believe we were headed on to Bespin 2 by Mad Cow. So that's where I'm starting. There's 3 more fonts to go through, and then we're kind of wrapping it up. So we'll start with that. it's really good fun. I do like Rogue a lot. And then my favorite font of all time. It actually has one of the same boot sounds as Bespin 2. But this is Ascension by KSith, which is actually the font that I had commissioned to do probably 2 years ago now. My absolute favorite font. Love it. I thought he knocked it out of the park, so... and that is that. So, like I said, for the customer, obviously I appreciate your patience. Took a little bit longer than I was hoping to get some of these more recent commissions out. But like I said, we're all set now, and it's looking good. Like I said, just keep an eye on that one thing I warned you about with the clamp card. But like I said, I mean, I've tried to move it, and you really got to go at it if you want to get it to move. So just keep an eye on that, and everything else should work pretty well. So you should be all set. And I hope you enjoy the Saber, and I hopefully work together again. You're pretty patient, which was awesome, and I appreciate that. So thanks. Have a good day.